What is up, fantasy football fools? Ryan and Jacob show is back for the week 4 recap. Another week in the books. Things are getting pretty dicey out there. Excited to dive into the week, but first, as always, we'll get into the mini game. Looks like Rudy, Chewy probably have the best odds to win this one. Rudy's got 3, Chewy's got 2. So you guys know how it goes. Let's get it going.
Bossy also has 2, and then me and Jimmy have 1 each. So
we'll see what happens. I missed the one up top. You're right. Lou does have 2.
All right, so here we go. Let's get this going.
All right, we got a
4, which is me. Let's go 4. We need another 4. 10.
10.
4.
What the? This is rigged, dude. This is rigged. Somebody needs to check out this calculator.net, dude. I don't trust it. I do not trust calculator.net anymore. Next week, we're going to a new random number generator. This guy gets a 4 off 3 rolls. I just don't buy it. And it's the second win of the year. Look at this.
The first second winner, so.
Wow. The guy that only has 1.
Because as we will see, I am not doing too great this year. I'll do that later. So, all right. So that was probably the quickest one, which I will take because that was fun. Okay. So we'll go into the first matchup. As I said, my team has not played up to the par, and my team, I just knew I was going to lose this game. I was pretty checked out all of Sunday. When I looked at Chris's roster versus my roster and the matchups he had versus the matchups I had, I knew that it was going to be a tough matchup. And he didn't disappoint, 128, close to 129, and then I didn't even crack 100. Hopefully get Christian McCaffrey back this week. He's going to be practicing tomorrow. Let's see how that hamstring holds up. But yeah, just not off in the gate fast, but I do still like my team, and we'll see how I do against Dom. But yeah, kudos to Chris. He has a very good team. Jalen Hurts. I knew that was going to be a high-scoring game. I won some money on the over bet on that one, and just had a good week. So congrats, Chris. I think he's 3-1. And my thing is onto Dom for next week.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do a little regrouping here with a tough 1-3 start. That's not the best way to start a season, as we know. Every win's important, but it's still very early. You definitely have a shot to turn it around. I mean, you don't have like terrible scores, just like nobody really popped much. Your kicker with a 0 and the defense with a -3 definitely doesn't help. I mean, we knew you were going to be a little weak at the RB spot. Chuba in there, he does not put up Christian McCaffrey type numbers. But on the other side, like you said, Chris had a great week. I mean, Jalen Hurts had the shootout matchup of the week, basically with the Chiefs. And then the rest of his guys pretty much did what they do. And another good week from Chris. This is a scary team moving forward. And I actually see him this week. So not super looking forward to that. My team's really going to have to perform this week.
Yeah, and just a quick thing, Trey Lance is actually going to be starting because Garoppolo's out. So I'm not going to start him this week because I got Stafford versus Seattle, even though it's on a Thursday, and every Thursday night game has boned me so far. But I do like that matchup with Stafford. So, Dom, hopefully I get a win against them. But, yeah, Chris is going to be tough. He's got a good team, and hopefully he can knock him off because I'd rather have you win because of Chris is in my division, so I want him to lose. But going to the game of the week that we kind of decided, we didn't do a vote or anything, but we just kind of, I think last podcast we said this was the game of the week, or I said that in the power rankings, but 2 heavyweights, and Chewy had a bad week last week and he followed it up with a 151. James didn't do bad, 108, but just not really great. A lot of single digits. Cooper Kupp came back down to earth, and DeAndre Hopkins really hasn't been that good.
No.
Since like that first game. Yeah, first game 23, 13, 3, 8. So I don't know what's up with DeAndre Hopkins. He did go against Jalen Ramsey most of the day last week. It's Sunday. But yeah, DeAndre Hopkins hasn't looked good. Cooper Kupp, you're not going to score 30 every game. But I don't know. James's team is looking a little suspect. I don't know. He was so high. We put him on a pedestal.
I was gonna say, like, where he was at on draft, where he's at on draft night to now is like night and day. It looks like a different team. I mean, like, it's not a bad score, like you said, but I mean, it just doesn't look as scary as it did.
Yeah, I'm not sure James Robinson, who he traded, which might be a bad trade. So far has been a bad trade. Devin Singletary, single digits. Rather have James Robinson, who got 20. Wouldn't have won in the game, but still his score would have been a little better. But Chewy, he had an all-star game. David Montgomery found the end zone twice. I don't know how bad that knee is. The Bears keep saying that it's not season ending, so I don't know how long it's going to be. But Taylor looked good in Miami. DJ Moore is favorite target in Carolina. And Travis Kelce actually put up a dud, which was pretty fun. I don't want to say funny, but with a high-scoring game, Travis Kelce was definitely not in the loop in this game.
Not good for me because he lost a couple parlays for me. But, yeah, Chewy's team still drops a 150 bomb with the best tight end in the league, giving him a 4. I mean, that's pretty impressive. But, yeah, David Montgomery is going to be out for 4 to 5 weeks. So we'll see how he fills in there at that RB2 spot. But, yeah, Chewy's team just continues to look good after that bad week last week. But, yeah, I don't know. He's tough to beat. Even when he put up his dog shit score, he still gets a dub because he's seeing Jeff. So now he's 4-0, and the team looks good. That's scary, man.
Yeah, just Phil and David Montgomery got Darrell Henderson, who's going to go slide in the RB2, and then he's got Fournette, Waddle, J.D. McKissick is pretty good.
Yeah, he's got some options.
He's got options, especially because he got that flex option that you can do a wide receiver or running back. Deontay Johnson, I didn't even know he was back this week, and he put up a 20 ball. Yeah, just great score by Chewy. I don't know who he's got next week. He's got someone in your division, so hopefully your division can pull out. Maybe, hopefully, if it's Matt, that would be pretty cool. 2 undefeateds. I think Lubasi has Matt, though.
We can check the schedule after we get through the games.
But, so good week by Chewy, 4-0. Doesn't look like he wants to slow down. It'll be interesting to see who he has next week. But we'll go to, I think, the lowest scoring game of the week in Lubasi and Jeff. And I don't know what else to say
about Jeff's team here.
Cordell Patterson looked really good. It saved him from getting another below 80 score. I think he's gotten a couple of those already this week or this year. But I don't know.
Things are looking a bit grim for Team Hefe, aka Memorial Hospital over here. I did want to point out that Teddy Bridgewater on his bench got hurt this week, and Logan Thomas is starting tight end hurt this week. I believe Jeff is now like 6 for 6 of having guys go down every single week, at least one. And I've never seen anything like it. I can't say that I have.
Yeah, Gronk was out too. But, still question marks. Bengals D was kind of a head scratcher to me. I know Trevor Lawrence is a rookie, but he's looked good the last week. And the Bengals D, I wouldn't say is that strong. I know they held a pretty putrid Steelers offense to low scoring, but, that's the Steelers. So that was a little weird. But, just other things that he's done this year, another head scratches. But we don't want to get into that because we just won't get into it. But Lubasi, 107. Not a great score, not a bad score. But he had Josh Allen put up 20. The team scored 40. You would think Josh Allen would score more than 20 if his offense scored 40. And the thing about, did Diggs get a touchdown this week?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know. I've watched a couple. I watched Red Zone, but Diggs just does not seem like he's in this offense as much as he was last year. I don't know if it's just because, I mean, he's getting he's getting double-digit targets 3 out of the 4 games, but it just doesn't seem that he's doing that well this year. I don't know. Maybe it's because he hasn't had a big game yet, but he hasn't looked like he's done much.
I think the Bills have just so many weapons out there, and Josh Allen kind of uses different people in different games. He was using Emmanuel Sanders last week and then Dawson Knox this week. So, I mean, Stephon Diggs is just in a crowded team with a lot of talent. Just not getting the ball as much. And when he does, he's not – I mean, he's doing stuff with it, but, he's not running for crazy scores or yards or anything. So, yeah, he's just kind of had a middle of the road season, like good enough for a starting fantasy spot, but maybe not what you expected where you drafted him if you're Lubasi.
Yeah, I think he's looking for more. I mean, he really wanted that Duke or stack, and I think he want. I would want more from Diggs. I know he probably will too, but yeah, Mike Williams with a 1.6. I didn't watch any of that game. Like I said, I kind of checked out. The thing about my team, Robbie Gould didn't even play because he hurt his hamstring on kicking a practice field goal before the game, so he didn't freaking play. So that's when I checked out of football, which was the beginning of the 4:00 game. So I didn't even watch the Monday night game. And it does not look like Mike Williams did well.
Yeah, he did not do well. Justin Herbert was just finding a lot of other people. Jared Cook, as we'll see when we get to my team. But he was just spreading the ball around a lot. Eckler was getting a lot of work. Mike Williams I think he might have missed Mike Williams on a throw or two. That would have got Lubasi a few more points. But luckily he wasn't in a big dogfight coming into Monday, because if Mike Williams did that to him when he was fighting for a win, I'm sure he would not have been happy, and especially versus Jeff.
Yeah, and you saw Mike Williams has done extremely he's done very well this year for Lubasi.
I mean, if you look at his score, you take that defense that dropped 21, you take that out, and this game is a lot closer than it looks. And Lubasi would have been sweating it out when Cordero Patterson was doing what he did.
Yeah, Cordero Patterson was a 1:00 game. I'm sure Lubasi was still sweating, even though I think he was up pretty good for the 1:00 games. I think it really got close. Well, actually, Jeff had all 1:00 games or something like that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure Jeff was done after 1:00, and he already had all that. So, yeah, luckily the defense puts up a good week, though, too.
Yeah, and we'll look at the schedule. But I know for the schedule next week, everyone plays out of division. Everyone played in division this week, so out of division next week. So it'll be fun to do a little segment next week on the podcast on that. But we'll go to –
before we get to this, Lubasi also did have Joe Mixon go down. Didn't mention that.
Yep, he did go down. But he's got some good bench options. You got Damian Williams. I don't know when he picked him up, but that was a good sneaky pickup.
Yeah, with Montgomery out.
September 15th. Oh, so he's been on the team for a couple of weeks. So nice hold there. Devontae Smith, too. And then Corey Davis, who had a really good – and then that game also pissed me off because Tennessee ruined a lot of my parlays after the 1:00. So I was definitely checked out after 1:00 games.
Right, Rudy and Jimmy, another 151. I mean, Rudy is honestly I've come out surprisingly well this year. He's dropped a few pretty high scores. And his team looks pretty good. I know Devo is probably not going to keep up what he's been doing. Dawson Knox has a crazy week. You think?
Trey Lance is now the starter, so Devo could do even better, maybe.
You think so? Better than 31s? 31?
I mean, Trey Lance is probably better than Garoppolo.
I mean, I'm not disputing that at all, but he drops a 27 week 1 and a 31 this week. I don't know if he's going to be doing that. I'm thinking that 13 area might be more realistic for what to expect out of him most weeks.
We'll see, I guess.
I think OBJ has been looking good. Baker missed him on quite a few throws this week, or at least 1 or 2 that I saw. He could have got a lot more points. Miles Sanders, like we've talked about, we're not really high on him. He's kind of buns. But Saquon Barkley, maybe the story of Rudy's team, a 27. This can only mean hopefully positive things ahead for Saquon, because he looked really good in this game. And I know Rudy's got to be feeling good about that call.
Yeah, Saquon actually had a good game. It looks like he's getting more involved in the offense, and that's a good thing and kind of a bad thing, just because with more touches means more injury options. But I think if you're Rudy, you want to take that chance. But I didn't even see that he sat Tyler Lockett, which was good because he got 4.
Yeah.
Definitely a boomer bust guy. I've said that all year. And he made a good call with Debo. Well, I guess not because Odell got 4. But like you said, Odell, I mean, that game really pissed me off too because the Browns and Vikings, I needed high scoring, and they never even showed up on the red zone in the second half. So,
Yeah, that game sucked.
it sucked so bad. So Odell, yeah, and Baker missed him on a wide open go route with like 2 or 3 minutes to go in the game to ice it. And like Baker just like threw it in the ground. Or like it was an easy like 50-yard touchdown from Odell, and he just definitely missed him. But that was a good start with Dawson Knox too. I mean, Rudy had some good starts. Tyler Bass, 16. I don't know if that's his regular kicker. It looks like it is. I don't know who would carry 2 kickers. But, yeah, just a great game by Rudy. And then you go with Jimmy, who is 0-4. 109, not bad. He would have beat, a lot of the people, probably like maybe 50% of the people on here.
Yeah.
And he gets an L just because he ran into Rudy. But Tyreek Hill, who dropped a 42. That kind of stings to see.
Yeah, I bet it does.
But, yeah, everybody else, though, in his team just sucked.
Yeah, he had a tough week. I mean, outside that 42 and Aaron Rodgers 24, it was just single-digit city out here. And
if you score 42 with one guy, like, you kind of need to win.
Man, you should definitely not lose. You should definitely not be losing a game where a guy drops a 42 bomb.
Man, if I had Tyreek, I would have won. But, I mean, that's neither here or there. But, yeah, 42 is tough to not win. I mean, granted, Rudy did put up 150. So even if his guys did do good, Jimmy still would have had to have a hell of a score. So I guess we said kudos to Rudy. But, yeah, Jimmy's team is not looking great.
Yeah, this week was definitely tough to see. Not a ton of points left on the bench. Oh, actually, I lied. James Conner had a really good game, but I think he scored like 2 touchdowns. So that score is pretty inflated by that dependency. Yeah, just not a promising week. I'm sure Jimmy is hopeful. I mean, Devontae Adams dropped a 9.4. You definitely expect to see that number go up at least. But yeah, he might have a few holes to fill here in this team. I don't know if Tyreek can't get it done for him with 42, he's gonna have to figure out something else at some other positions.
Yeah, I'm not too sure where Jimmy goes. Jimmy kind of reconfigured his team already. I don't know if he tries to reconfigure it. But yeah, we'll see. So we'll see how Jimmy does. That's tough. That's a tough L for him. Not only because Rudy put up so much, but seeing that Tyreek scored so much and he kind of wasted that performance.
We got big eyes on these 0-4 teams moving forward. We're scratching our heads on the direction of those guys.
Yes, for sure. But we'll go to the next game, which was your game versus Dom. And I'll just talk about Dom's team a little bit. He had who I play next week, so a little scouting report for me here. CeeDee Lamb did not do well, 2.3. And I think even Amari Cooper was out maybe for a quarter or two for that game. And those tight ends are just getting all the looks right now. I'm sure CeeDee Lamb will figure it out, or Dak will start targeting more so the wide receivers. But the crazy part is Tom Brady and Chris Godwin, who combined for an 18 spot. Not great. Tom Brady did not look good against his old foe.
Loved that game. I loved that game.
Old team, I should say. But yeah, Dom's team did not do great. He had a bad week. 81 is not great. I think that's the lowest score this week.
I think it is.
Yep. So Dom's definitely going to be looking for a revenge game against me, which I always like when I play somebody. I always like to see a very high score the week before they play me, because it's like, oh, they scored high last week. That means there's going to be some less scores that they'll do the next week. There's like no way they're going to do 2 really good weeks in a row. So when I see a low score, I'm like, crap. Dom's team is going to just go off. But, I mean, my team scored low, too. So I guess it should be a shootout. Me and Dom should have the highest scores next week if that happens.
By that logic, yeah, I don't know how that math works out, but we'll have the podcast analyst check the stats there.
But yeah, so Dom, I mean, he's looking for next week just like me. I think he's 2-2. Yeah, 2-2. So a big win, or a bigger win than I need, because I'm 1-3. But you are 3-1, and your team is looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, dude, I feel pretty good. I made the bold call of sitting Brandon Cooks for Tyler Boyd this week with Brandon seeing the Bills, and I made the right decision. Unfortunately, Cortland Sutton kind of sucked, but that was kind of the theme of my 4:00 games. Like I came in out of the Thursday night game looking good, out of the 1 o'clocks looking pretty good. And then Chris Carson, Cortland Sutton, and my defense just sucked cock, like big old cock. Like Chris Carson was giving carries away, or they were giving carries away to Alex Collins, who got the touchdown at the end. And I'm freaking steaming from the ears. He only got like freaking 12 touches or something, 14. I was heated after this game. I was a little bit nervous coming out of the 4 o'clocks before that Sunday night game with Brady and Godwin, thinking that I had probably lost. But luckily I was looked down upon by the fantasy gods, and Tom Brady kind of sucked, which helped me out. But then last night, Justin Herbert, my newest addition to the team from last week. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. I can't thank you enough, Jeff. I really can't. Justin Herbert and Jared Cook connection last night was on fire. I think I'm going to like that stack moving forward. They were looking at Jared Cook a lot last night, and hopefully that continues. But, yeah, I feel pretty good about my team right now if Chris Carson can pick it up.
Yeah, Justin Herbert didn't even do as well as I thought he should have. After the halftime, he had like 16 points or something and only got 5 in the second half. He had 3 touchdowns in the first half. So, but yeah, Justin Herbert did well. Jared Cook finally got it going. I think that was his first double-digit game.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
First touchdown of the year, first double digits. We'll take it.
Yeah, and you got a tough matchup against Chris next week, so that should be a fun matchup to keep an eye on. And then we'll go to the last game, which is another one of the 2 4-0 teams that we have. Johnny takes a big loss. I know Johnny was in the number 1 in the power rankings last week. I put him over Chewy. Chewy shut me up once again on that, so Chewy will most likely be number 1 this week. But yeah, Matt had 2 good weeks in a row. 115 is solid. But his scores, I mean, Dak did well. His running backs did well. But, I mean, those wide receivers, something has to give. So, I mean, he's got to work on something because none of his wide receivers have done that great all year. Allen Robinson still kind of looks lost in that Bears offense right now at the moment. I'm sure he'll pick it up. I'm sure he'll catch fire. But right now, just Darnell Mooney had the most touches, I think, as a wide receiver last week for the Bears. So something to keep an eye on. These wide receivers are not strong, and even Antonio Brown with less than 10. So it'll be interesting what Matt does, but he's 4-0. I don't know how much he's worried about it. But, yeah, good week by Matt, and Johnny kind of loses. Not really a heartbreaker, but it was close.
Yeah, I mean 103. You'd hope to get a win with that, but with our and like normally in our non-PPR league, if you put up over 100, you could usually expect to win. But now we got the half-point PPR. Can't always expect to win just with triple digits. You're probably looking to get something more like Matt with the 115, but still a tough loss for Johnny. But yeah, I said it on the Facebook page last week. I personally think Matt is one of the weakest 4-0 teams I've ever seen. I don't think this team is like undefeated worthy, like that we're scared about this guy running the league. I do not see this team as like, wow, that team's so good. I totally understand that it's undefeated. I look at this team, this is like a 2-2 team to me, and we'll see if Matt has something to say about that, but I do stand by that. This is the weakest undefeated team that we definitely have this year. So we'll see what Matt does with this going forward and see kind of like with our 0-4 teams, we'll see when Matt gets his first number in the L column.
Yeah, it's interesting to think, Chewy damn near doesn't even deserve to be 4-0 with what he did last week. I don't know about Chewy or Jimmy. I mean, Jeff deserves to be 0-16, so I guess he deserves that. Jimmy, I'm not too sure how close of his games have been, but his team hasn't been strong this year. But yeah, that's what fantasy does to you. It's just, you could have a really good week and still take the L. And you could have a really bad week and still take the win. So it's just how lucky are you when it comes to matchups. And then speaking of matchups, we have our week 5 matchups here. As I said, I have Dom this week. So this is all out of division. So you're playing out of division. We have me versus Dom, which should be a pretty good game. Definitely a must win for the 1-3 and 2 or 0-4 teams. So this is not really a must win, but 0-4 it's a must win. 1-3, it's kind of a must
Definitely
win.
Don't want another loss at 1-3.
Then we got Chewy and Rudy, which was our 2 highest scorers last week. If they put up that kind of fireworks this week, that will be a very fun game to watch. James and Jimmy, so these are 2. I would say this is this is a must-win game for these guys. 1-3 versus 0-4. I think James needs the win. Jimmy definitely needs the win. Probably the best matchup of the game. Best matchup next week is you and Chris with both 3-1 teams. That should be a dogfight. And then we have Johnny and Jeff. Should be an easy win for Johnny. And then Matt and Lubasi. So Matt, Lubasi, we talked about in our group message last week or yesterday that Lubasi is looking to put that 1 up in the loss column for Matt.
Yeah, we'll see if he can do it. I hope that he can. Matt's in my division. I definitely don't like seeing him at 4-0, and I'm now in second place in the division, so I really would love Lubasi to pull off a win, and I need to pull off a win versus Chris. I think, I didn't notice there, are we all playing out of division this week? I think we are.
I said that like 4 times in this podcast alone.
Oh, well, that's how much I listen to you. So, yeah, with everybody playing out of division, I definitely need you guys to take down my division foe. I definitely could use a Matt loss, and a Johnny loss would not be too bad for me either.
Yeah, and then we'll just look at the standings really quick. The 0-4 teams are on the bottom, which is kind of understandable. You're actually 7th, which is kind of shocking with your record, 433, and I'm 426, who is 1-3. But then you look at the points against, and you have, it looks like the second lowest.
Third lowest.
Third lowest. So kind of lucky matchups on your end, especially when you just played Dom, who just put up an 80, and I have the 3rd highest. So unlucky matchups for me. I guess Jimmy too. So Jimmy has the highest points against. So that's a big reason. I mean, he hasn't lit up the scoreboard either, but just having that number being so high is really tough to win, even if he's putting up good scores. But yeah, so that's points for, points against. It's kind of fun to see that. Jeff, he should be a lot better than he is with 405 points against. He's top 6, top 50%. But his points are just not there.
My points would be higher if Ryan Fitzpatrick played that whole week 1 game. So
use it as an excuse every single time.
Yeah, well, I can use it as an excuse because I got a freaking 0.7 from him that day. He played 3 drives.
You wouldn't have done that much better.
Yeah, well, I would have more than 433 points. I'll tell you that.
Okay, 440. There you go. You're still.
Oh, so now he's only a 7-point quarterback. Get out of town.
He was playing the Bills, wasn't he?
Get out of town. They were not playing the Bills. I don't know who they were playing, but
playing a good defense. That's all I know. So
it wasn't that good.
Yep, and there's the standings, and yeah, let's just have a good week 5. Power rankings hopefully out tomorrow. I think Ryan's going to take over in the coming weeks as long as the White Sox are in the playoffs, because that's going to be my focus pretty much hopefully the whole month of October. I'm going to the game on Sunday, so I really won't be watching any football. So hopefully I just kind of periodically check in, and I am beating Dom.
And I am beating Chris. But yeah, yes, man. I think that does it for the week 4 recap. Heading into week 5, I'm excited because people keep doubting my team even still. I'm sure that my power rankings rank will probably still be like number 7, which is ridiculous, but I can't seem to buy myself a good rank no matter how well I do. So going into week 5, we're going to keep proving the haters wrong. I'm sorry that I'm going to have to do it to you, Chris, but that's what's about to happen. So any closing thoughts from your end?
Let's have a good week 5. What's the Thursday night game? Seahawks versus Rams.
Yep.
Which is a really good Thursday night game. We haven't really had a good one. I think this is the first game that Amazon Prime is having in the Thursday night games. I think they're doing week 5 through week 12. So if you have Amazon Prime, I think we're going to be sponsored by Amazon Prime or Amazon here pretty soon after this plug. If you have Amazon Prime, you get the game for free. You don't have to stream it. So Amazon, you know what to do.
Yeah, sponsor us because we get 15 views a podcast. Hell yeah. All right, well, that's going to do it for the week 4 recap. Good luck to everybody in week 5 except for Chris, and we will see you guys next week.
Peace.
Peace. As soon as I move this. Peace.